Greetings, medieval comrades. It is I, a bubble of excitement, and welcome to a brand new adventure that we're starting today. After years in early access, Foundation has officially released, and today we'll be starting our brand new town. I'm super excited for this, so let's go! So we have a choice of 3 different maps. We're gonna go for this one, I think, for fluvial. So the coastal has a little coast, and you can have islands, and it's really cool because you can do bridges to the islands. Then the fluvial has a river going through it, and the hills has a bunch of hills and lakes. And then you can always alter these things a lot. You can make the lake smaller, make it bigger. You can get a little different map code, and then also you can set up promontories and other settings. Now, I'm going to go for fluvial today. I do wish that can we re-roll the seed? There we go. So with this, we can randomize the seed. I think this is a pretty cool shape. I like a little bit of river squigglies, and then also we're going to add some more stuff. So I want more river, not too much river, maybe a little bit less, and then some lakes. I want to get, some bonus lakes. Although an oxbow lake would be nice. Oh, this is really nice. And then island. No, bring it back. This is cool because we get to have 2 little islands like that. I think that's pretty cool. And then let's move on to Miss Cliff. I like a cliff more than I like a slope. So I'm glad that the slope is low. And then we're going to put promontory higher. So promontory is essentially like a plateau type situation, I believe. Which is better to me than a hill, because hills are nice, but in general, I think the way that the people build on stuff, hills tend to be a little bit clunky compared to like a nice little flat slope, and then you can build a wall on top of it or something. So I think this is really nice. We have a couple good options. Maybe we don't have enough heights, but I mean, that's the breaks, you know, we're on a riverbed. So, or not riverbed, riverbank. So I think this is going to be okay. I think this is pretty cool. We have some good options. Hopefully we're going to settle somewhere around here, and then we can sort of spread out. I think that will be pretty interesting. All right, now we can select our rules. So there's a couple different rule types. You can go for a really chill experience. You can go for the classic experience, which is what we're going to go for. And then you also have essentially like creative mode and challenge mode, where everything is a lot harder. I think I definitely want undepletable, small mineral deposits. Well, how is that different from... So a lot of these I don't actually know because they are... some of these are new options that were not present before. Environmental resource regrowth. See, so they do regrow. Things like berries, fish, boars, and trees regrow. Yeah, let's go with everything balanced. Let's go for a balanced experience. I'm also going to keep the tutorial on because I think we can have nice little notes to go off. All right, and then I aspire to relax and play on my own, mostly because I want to do all of these things. I want to do everything. I want to see if I can still do everything. In early access, I always did all 3, but they did say that they wanted to make it more that you have to specialize, but we'll see how that works out for us. So now we get to create a thingy. What is that? Heraldry? A coat of arms. That's the word. So let's get to work. So I must confess that in order to prevent you from having to watch me do this for ages, I did already think about this. We did one for the demo and I kind of fell in love with it. So we're going to do this. We have a little twist on it. We're going to keep this shape. We're going to go for the greens. And then we're going to go for the bees. Where's Miss Bee? There is the bee. And then... maybe the inside of the bee needs to be... Yes. Look at that. That's beautiful. The only question is 3Bs or 2Bs. I like the 2Bs because they're kind of asymmetrical. So I wanted to go with a shape that looks like a leaf. This is the leafiest of them. And then I think the top, I mean, both of these are kind of leafy. This one is a little bit leafy and this one is, I think this one is leafier. And then this pattern with the stripes, it just looks like a leaf. So it's a leaf with 2 Bs on it. I'm really happy with it. And of course we shall be the bee's knees. Or should it just be bee's knees? I think it should just be bee's knees. And then the only title that we have the option for is Pioneer. Pioneer Lelling. Let's go. Could also be Lely or Lello. Lelling. Let's go with Lelling. Branding. All right. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. You can change this stuff later as well. So don't worry about like having to choose all of it at the start. You can always change it later. Let's start to the game. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to start a new town. And this town, we're going to be with this town for a while. So I am very, very excited. By the way, while this video is out, you can probably also find me live on twitch.tv/lelling, where I'm probably streaming more Foundation, but not this town. This town will be fully here with us on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about missing anything. There'll be a different town there. A new beginning. After a long journey through the realm, your people finally reach new lands. Your lands. Territories you can settle for reasons of your own. Your villagers await your command and are eager to offer advice about how to proceed, should you require it. Nice! Quest module. So we have the quest module down here in the bottom left. The UI is a tiny bit small. Anybody else's eyes really bad? I feel like I need to look really deep in there. Which is nice. I do like a small UI, usually. I just, for a moment, might need it to be bigger. Oh no, that text is not getting bigger. Well, it's fine. You know what? Is there like a text size business? Nor. Not that I could see. Well, it's fine. I can just lean in. I'll just be like this away from the mic when I read the bottom left. Right, so it's teaching us to pan the camera. We did the camera movement. We completed the camera move. You know what? I will make it bigger just for now so that you can see this tutorial text as well if you're trying to learn. Miss Camera Zoom. Mouse wheel or page up, page down? I don't really use page up, page down that much. I usually just use my middle mouse. And then that was the tilting. Sorry, I did that real quick. I don't know if you had time to read, but I guess you can pause the video if you'd like to read more of any of these tooltips. To start building your village, you must choose your first territory. Each available starting territory has all the basic resources you need to begin settling the new land. Later, you will be able to expand further by purchasing new territories. So back in the day, these used to be hexagonal. So like it would just be even hexagons across the entire map, which was quite fun. And I always wanted to do like a single hex challenge to try and build everything you possibly can and unlock everything you possibly can in a single hexagon, but I never got to it. So here's that lake we spawned. The island's a bit small. Map feels a bit small. Oh, this one's much bigger. This is what I wanted, but it's covered in trees. This will be a large deforestation effort. So this is this little triangle that I said I want to start inside of. So I'm thinking we might start here. So if you're wondering why these are like pre-selected as possible starting situations, it's mostly because they will already have everything that you need. So stone, wood, and berries. Those are kind of the starting things that you always need in your start. So yeah, I think we're going to start here. I'm just trying to look at these mounds. This is a good tip for new players. Look for these mounds because these will be your metals and like your prospecting places. So these are mines. where you can prospect, and sometimes you can find stone inside of them, or you can find gold, iron, other things, probably coal. Yes. Yes. Where was that little triangle? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think we'll start here and we'll try expanding down here. I was really hoping we could just start here and have our village center be down here. The village center is technically a building that I don't think you can relocate, but maybe you are able to in this version. That was a huge thing on my wish list when we first started. So this area feels quite big, so let's go with this one. And the fact that there's a starting area over there also means that there's enough resources to expand around here that's like, oh yeah, nice, we can expand over there. Plus a lot of space over here. Let's go. All right, we chose our territory. Most actions like placing new buildings or expanding your territory can be performed by the action module at the bottom center of the screen. So that's down here. We have a little build. We make Miss Village Center. So let's build it right here. Oh, that was a lovely sound. How's the volume? Everybody let me know, because we're going to be together for a while. If the volume of the game is too low or too high, you can let me know in the comments and we'll alter it. A villager wants to speak with you. Click on the bouble to start the interaction. The second piece of advice comes from a young, enterprising villager. Rather than letting everyone fend for themselves, she suggests that you organize laborers into appropriate workplaces. Builders into workshops, woodcutters into lumber camps, berry gatherers into their huts, and so on. Let's put this advice into practice. So, we shall put a builder's workshop down. So we have the controls on the bottom right. Left click to select or place a part. Left click drag on vertical arrows to rescale a part vertically. That doesn't come into play here. Then we have right click to delete. And then Alt is how we're spinning it. That's a very satisfying noise. And Shift to just like keep spamming them. If we wanted to make like 5 of these, you could just Shift and then click and click and click and click, and you would just clone a million of them. So I think we'll just make this here for now. We can move all of these later. This is one of the easiest buildings to move because you can just... It's an instant build. Most buildings need a builder to build, but the builder's workshop is just spawned out of the ether. Click the plus button in the building panel to automatically assign the nearest villager to a workplace. So yeah, we can just click the plus here, or you can go down the list and assign someone. And something that's really cute is you can name people. You can name them after your friends or your enemies. So let's assign 2 builders right now. I think that's fine. Build a lumber camp. All right, let's build Miss Lumber Camp. So this lumber camp, you can see, has a little area of stinky around it. Don't worry about that right now, but just keep that in mind. There's a little stinky area. There's a lot of wood in that direction, so let's just make this here for now. So now we shall see our builders get to work. They're vibing, they're thinking. If we look over here, Alulf is bringing 2 tools. There he is. Yeah, well, we can just rename him. We can call him Bevan. And there we go. Is that already the lumber camp fully done? Nice. Woodcutters. Yes. Did they say how many woodcutters we need to assign? Let's just assign 2. Painting and woodcutting. So, this is another fun thing about this game. Ooh, that color looks slightly different than it was before release. Wood resources require you to paint an area that is fit for woodcutting using the paint tool. So the paint tool is really cool. You basically can paint different zones. So for example, if you paint a forbidden zone, ooh, that's a different color too. Oh, look at that. Interesting. So you can paint a forbidden zone. It means they will not be allowed to step into it. Painting a woodcutting zone means you can chop these trees. And at this point, we can just say chop most of these. We're happy to do that right now. All right, now they would like food. So we can just make a berry picker. What is that? Oh, a forester camp. So we already have access to a forester camp who can regrow the trees for us. And a little nice thing, I like to use the forester camp also as a decorator for me so that, you know, you can essentially decorate the place with nice little trees. You could even specify back in the, I don't know how it is for release, but in the early access version, there were like 4 different types of trees. And then you can specify to a forester which type of tree they're allowed to plant. And then you would just make the smallest possible zone. You just go boop, 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 boop. And you could have some nice decorative trees. There is an item, like a building that's a decorative tree, but that costs money. And also it has a specific graphic. So if you wanted the other trees, you could just plant them the way you wanted them. So that was really cool. All right, so we got our lumber camps, lumber camping. And we're going to have our gathering hut be gathering, produce berries. Let's see. Miss Heffron, she's going over there. She's going to pick a berry. Let's pick a berry at a little bit faster speed. So you can just have the speed on triple. Brrr. Heffron goes brrr. All right, gathering food completed. I assume we're going to learn about the storage. Needs and happiness. Now that you've organized your laborers, you can tend to their needs and happiness. Make sure they have access to fresh water and housing. As for food, you will first need people to store and distribute the berries they collected. From there, your village will have everything needed to welcome its first wave of immigrants. Nice! So, residential areas are also painted just like the woodcutting area. And that's it. We just paint it. So some people like to paint squares. I'm not those people. I think one of the coolest things about Foundation is the sort of organic... Oh, look at that lovely video. They really jumped out with this stuff. Okay. Every member of your village is looking to satisfy essential and additional needs. Villagers fulfill their needs by consuming resources such as berries for the rustic food need or visiting buildings such as churches for the service need. Check for details by hovering over each need in the villager window. Yo, I started playing Foundation, I think when it first hit early access in 2020. And it was the first thing that I played on this channel, I'm pretty sure. And the UI was different, the graphics were different, basically everything was completely different. It was such a cool thing, and it's so cool to see it grow. Alright, so... as you can see, as I was saying, the houses just sort of organically put themselves down when you paint the residential zone. And you could actually just paint the residential zone over here. They're not going to build over these buildings. But if you'd like to keep things orderly, you can do that. You can also do what a lot of people do is eventually they get a knack for how big of a area they need for a residential zone to spawn. And then I'm just going to pause so they don't do anything with it. Then they like create a grid and very specifically put their houses in grids. But like this game is gridless. So why are you trying to put grids in? I think it can be nice for certain people. You know, you can do the symmetry, you can do all sorts of stuff. So if that's what you like, that is the option. But one of the things that I like the most about Foundation is you can just do whatever you want. You can paint an area. You could paint the whole thing and just organically let them build houses where they want, which is usually as close as they can to a workplace, as long as it's desirable. So that's maybe you remember that little stink around this place. I believe that'll be in the top left corner. There's a visibility thing, and we can look at undesirable neighborhood. So certain buildings have a little undesirable stink around them. Now, people can still build houses there. I believe that later on, they will not be super fans of it. Oh, we also need a well. So let's put a well somewhere. Well used to create a beautification area. We want a well here at the center of our place. So I'm just going to squeeze it right on in there. Usually I like to have my market stalls around my place here. But we could just move the builder's hut and stuff. It'll be fine. Yeah, let's put this well here for now. I used to put the well in the village center, and then that would result in people getting kind of stuck because the village center was still there. But look, you can edit the building. Can we move it? Yes. Okay, so we can move the village center. That's good to know. You can basically edit most buildings. So it's very good to know that the village center is now a proper building that we can move. Could even name it. You could say the courtyard or whatever. What is it? I mean, it's a village center. Let's just leave it. Center. Let's not try to get ahead of ourselves. So this is a house. It has different things. You have quality and you have density. I'm sure that we'll learn a lot more about this as things progress. But quality essentially lets you get people of higher class, of a higher social class. So we have the serfs, commoners, citizens, and then for housing density, that just means more people can move in. And as you can see, they have different requirements for how a house will evolve. And as you can see, these basic serf houses can be in a non-desirable area. In order to evolve into medium quality housing, they will want desirable neighborhoods. But you may not want everybody to be a higher level citizen. You know, maybe you want to keep some of them as serfs to do more labor. Oh no. Are we the baddies? Are we the oppressive class? So I've painted over here and they're building a house over there. Probably because they don't want to build it next to the lumber camp. But I'll give them the opportunity to build one over there. I kind of don't want them to build over my berry bushes. Oh no, they're building one over here as well. Okay, cool. And that should be enough houses for everyone. Now, can we please finish this well? Oh! We need stone for the well. Do we have any stone? We have no stone, Kathleen. Now, where is stone? I think it will be highlighted if we put a stone cutter cap. Oh, so far away. We could also just place it over here and then they will walk over there. And I kind of prefer that because if we place this building over here, it will create a long straight road and houses, at least in the early access version, houses did not get built over, residential houses did not get built over roads. So it could kind of create a zone where nobody wants to build their house. If I want them to build a house here, it's not great. So we can just build this stone cutter over here and they'll be a little bit less efficient for a while, but we can always move them later. Also, you could see that these undesirable zones are affecting each other in interesting ways. So it's not just one circle next to another circle, but if you stack up a bunch of undesirable things, they actually make each other's circles bigger. And it's this really cool system where they sort of blob together. And that's also, it works the same way for beautification. And that's something that prevents both people from just like stacking everything in one little corner of like disgusting death where nobody wants to live and then the rest is flourishing, because if you do that you're going to get these big circles. And on the other hand, it also lets you work on a little beautification project instead of being like, oh my, let's say you have a little bush, right, a little bush of beautification that has a radius, like a lumber camp has a negative radius, that beautiful bush has a smaller, nice radius. Then you're like, well, I have to put bushes everywhere to make everybody happy. Instead, you could make a neat little garden, put a little bushes, a decorative tree, maybe something else, a lantern, whatever. And because they're all beautifying things, they can create a large zone, which I think is so cool. It's such a cool system. All right, let's speed things up a little bit and get this stonecutter camp so that we can get this well. So our stonecutter camp is complete and we have assigned some miners, and as you can see, they're going out there. And in general, people who go from a workplace to a location do not create a road. It's just two workplaces, but like if it's a lumber camp, it does not produce roads, right? That would be a disaster because then, or like a berry picker, you would have roads everywhere and it wouldn't look pretty. So you can, rest in peace to those berries. You can kind of control, where your roads are going to be that way. And if we think about it that way, if these guys were placed over here, they would still spend their work time getting to the place, but then they would have a faster time going back and forth. So we would save them a little bit of walk time, but it's not a tremendous distance. And it's not like right now we're racing against any clock. You're never really racing against any clock. You might sometimes get like a request from something, and that might be timed, but I don't even think those are timed most of the time. Just like oh, we need 100 lumber if you want to give it to us, and you could just be like, nah, no thanks. But I guess one thing that where you want to be efficient is things that are very important to keep sustained, like food, right? So if you have your berry pickers really far away from your berries, eventually you're gonna start running out of food because it's not efficient enough. So you want to think about like moving your gathering huts next to the berry bushes as you're picking them up and stuff. Oh, we're learning about multi-part buildings now. So this is the other cool part about this game. Right now, in this video, we're probably not going to see the coolest part of it because the market is relatively simple. But if you check out some of my demo videos that I made, it's already this version of the game. You can see how it works. And in the early access videos as well, you can see some really cool, like you can essentially construct very complex buildings out of multiple parts. For the market, it's fairly straightforward, as you can see. Some buildings, such as the market, have multiple parts and can be customized that way. Each part has a cost and can have a specific effect. Check for details in the part description. Alright, so we have to make our first market in order to sell our stuff. And as you can see right now, we only have two simple things. We have a food stall and a rustic market tent. Now the stall itself is just 10 wood. It has no upkeep. But if we add the tent, it increases the capacity for the stall by 20, has an upkeep of 1 gold, and also costs 5 cloth. Now we do have cloth because you start with some cloth, but later on you'll have to produce your cloth if you want to make your little market tents. So I'm going to see if we can squeeze this tent in here. Where's the one where well, let's just attach the tent. So see the tent kind of attach itself. And now both of the parts are moved together. And we can just move them around. And I think this game is also pretty generous when it comes to clipping, which is really nice because you can build some really amazing stuff by just, oh, hey, can we cancel that village center edit? There we go. Because you could just kind of very creatively put together different buildings. Like you can make your market part of another building. So for example, in this case, it doesn't look as nice because these don't go as well together, but like it kind of could. You could say that this market is part of this berry picker's house. And so it just kind of comes out from it. Later on, when you have a lot more buildings and a lot more options, you can really combine stuff into some really awesome stuff. Okay. I'm so eloquent. Let's build this market. So our workers are on the job. Faster, workers. Not this. Not it taking so long. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they already made the stall. This is another cool thing. When you're building a really complex building, let's say that you're building like a massive cathedral, certain parts of it can already become functional before the whole thing is finished. So in this case, the stall itself is already built. The tent, the little tarp, hasn't been built yet. So the bonus from the tarp doesn't exist yet. And we could even pause it now if we say like, oh, I actually can't afford my upkeep. You could just pause it and never have it built until you unpause it. But we can already assign the market tender and we can assign berries to this stall, which is lovely. We are now a village and we have new titles, Lord and Lady. That's fun. So that should be in our book. Can we open our book? Not yet. Okay. I just tried to press the hotkeys to open the book. But eventually, wait. Oh no, oh, we can open the budget, but nothing else. There should be a lot of tabs here. And one of these tabs could let you change your title, change your village name, all of those things. Oh, a question mark. Editing buildings. You can edit any constructed buildings by pressing the Edit Building button. You can move and rotate any building parts. Some building parts can be scaled up and down. Multi-part buildings can be improved further with new parts. Monuments can be improved with additional parts and sub-buildings. Double-clicking a building part will let you select all connected parts simultaneously. Got it. This is a cute little thing. I mean, it's not ideal. I would have preferred to move this back a little bit, which we could, but I'll leave it for now. Oh, we can't click on our progression yet. We must wait. Alright, so let's see. Raise the happiness of your village to 75. They want food. They want refined food as well, but we don't have that yet. But as long as they have access to water and rustic food, they should get their happiness to 75. So let's just wait until that happens. While that's happening, I can show you another cool thing. If this is still unlocked, it was in the in Miss Demo, and it looks like it is unlocked here as well. You can actually switch the weather, time of day, to be really like cool. Look at how nice this looks. Give me that sweet, sweet screenshot. Have it nighttime, or even you can have it be rainy. This is really cool. I wonder if this is ever gonna be locked, or if it's just kind of a free thing that we can play around with. I really love the dusk, and also if you just play during the day, I would recommend switch it to dusk or nighttime occasionally so that you can see the lights. Later you unlock a bunch of light decorations. You could put little braziers around the place, and it looks so nice when you light up your village. Just don't set it on fire. Oh, it's so nice. All right, let's raise that happiness. I just noticed, does this person have rocks on their roof? What are they doing? I've never seen this. I don't know what that's about. Oh, happiness is good. Is that to keep the roof from blowing away? Profiting from trade. Oh geez, we're trading already. A business-minded villager proposes creating a trade route with your closest neighbor, Northbury, to sell resources for profit and obtain items that cannot be produced locally. Northbury needs planks, so you should start with those. Unlocking buildings. Some buildings are not available at the start of the game. You will need to unlock them from the progression screen. Unlocking them requires you to reach their tier, which might require a certain number of prosperity and estate splendor. This is really cool. I'm sure this will be explained later in the tutorial, but I'll show you. Once there, you must pay a certain amount of coins or influence to unlock them for your village. So let's talk this bit. Oh, I was going to tell you about the splendor and the different estates, but they're hidden. They really made the progression not be overwhelming at the start. So I guess we'll keep that for next time. That is a really cool thing. Okay, so here we have some unlocks. We have storage, fishing, village wooden bridge, and village fence, which is decorative, but looks so nice. So these are all honestly worth it and not that expensive. It's 100 gold for all of it. Famous last words. I often go broke at the start because I get over enthusiastic and I overexpand. So don't be like me. Do not overexpand early on and ruin your economy. But I'm absolutely unlocking this and the fence. I don't think we need fishing or the bridge yet, since we're nowhere near, well, we are near water, but it is not in our territory. But we can do that later. All right, we're following stone. So this is another cool thing. You can track different resources and see where they're made. And then also, if we had some other stuff, you could see where they're produced, where they're stored, all of that. So build a warehouse and assign planks to a warehouse. So we have a sawmill, we have a warehouse, And we already have the lumber camp, so let's go. I don't know where I want this warehouse. Warehouses to me are a little bit nasty looking. It's so big and it doesn't really, let's just leave it there for now and let's get the sawmill and we'll see if we can find an intelligence place to put them. Now a sawmill is stinky, so people don't want to live next to a sawmill usually. But they can walk through it. Is this also walk through? Okay, so this might be walk throughable. So let's put a sawmill right here. And then, is this their storage for the planks? It doesn't need to be accessible, so maybe if we do this, we can combine these two buildings, and it can sort of look like almost it's the storage and the sawmill is one building. Maybe? It's not ideal. I wish we could shrink it. There were some lovely mods in early access. Now, as far as I've seen on the Discord, which by the way, this game has a really cool Discord. They're very, very nice with communicating with people. It has a thriving modding community, and the mods that worked in early access, of course, are not going to work for this because it's a very different version. But they are working. They said the first thing they're going to do after release is work hard with the modders. So I'm sure that the mods are going to come in soon. But there's a lot of mods that add tons of different building variety, different storage stuff. There's also a lot of bonus storage stuff in this one already. I was playing the demo and I was quite surprised by how much stuff there is. So it's really, really cool. Very exciting. So let's get these two things built so that we can create our final thing for this one. And yeah, then we're gonna, I think, be done for the day. While they're building that, let's talk trade. Let's open the trade thingy. Where do we open? Oh, they want me to do this first before we do the trade. Okay, never mind. I was jumping ahead. So they built the sawmill. The warehouse isn't built yet. But as you can see, we need a worker, but we don't have any unemployed workers anymore because we've assigned them all. So we can just safely unassign them from stuff. Right now, I feel like maybe one of the main things that we don't need two of is... Oh, we have 3 builders, so we can fire one of our builders. Goodbye. And then immediately request it here. There you go. You got reassigned. You have a new job now. You can make Miss Planks. Now let's wait for the warehouse to be built. Warehouse is going to need 15 planks, so let's speed this up. So now we can follow the journey of a little wood piece of wood from here to here. And then it gets turned into a plank. So we have our woodcutter, Disciole, and she cuts down a tree. What is that rectangular little... Okay. Cuts down a tree, brings the log over here, and then we have logs in here. And then somebody from here, which we can, now that we have enough stone, reassign another person. Goodbye. You now work here. Tristrand is going to come to work and start chopping down these logs into planks. Oh, look at that. There's a little thingy. That's cute. You could really spend a long time just watching these guys do their stuff. And then the plank gets put down and immediately the builder is going to be like, I smell a plank. And they're going to travel there. Ooh, immigrants. Excellent. We need these. Let's get them in. Boop, 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 boop. Lovely. Now we have more people. And we can actually speed up the production of the planks. And we could even say, let's get more people chopping wood. Well, right now I actually think that's fine. So let's leave these people available. We can fill in the miner. Just so that the miner has 2. You don't have to fill all your jobs. I guess that's a good point to note. You don't always have to fill all your jobs 100%. It's not like the building isn't going to operate perfectly. And sometimes you don't need to spend your limited resources, which are your serfs, on resources that you have enough of. Obviously, when your town is large, you're going to have most of your workplaces filled. But sometimes you can just be like, I don't need all those people, and keep things relatively tight. Now, let's get this warehouse actually constructed. There we go. They're about to hit the last plank into it, and we're going to see if we did it well. See, that doesn't look too bad, I think. Kind of looks like it belongs together. We can assign one transporter right now. This is a really big one. Your storage facilities can be a huge people sink, a huge job sink. You can put a ton of people in there and always be out of workers. And really, in a lot of your warehouses and granaries, you probably only need 1 or 2 workers. Really, you need more workers if they're going to be delivering stuff from really far away, if you're going to be ordering things, or if it's a high traffic warehouse. Most of the time, I find that 1 or 2 workers get the job done pretty well. All right, opening the Royal Book. You now have access to the Royal Book. The Royal Book contains, there's no space here, contains useful information and various features, like the capability to establish trade routes with your neighbors. Got it. So, let's open this trade route. That's where we're going to wrap it up. See these tabs I was talking about? Now they're here. So you have your logs where you can see all the messages, even if you missed some. Apparently we missed some newcomers earlier while I was explaining stuff, so we didn't get immigrants as soon as we could have. This is our budget. We can see our money draining because we don't really have much profit, but luckily most of it is construction. Then you can have your buildings and your villagers. This is a good place. Both of these are nice to see your jobs. So you can see here, these are half filled. So you can always assign more people, or you can see that some of your job places are already fully filled and you might want to reassign those people away. And you can rename every building so they can be available to you here at a glance. If you have a really important building, you can be like, this is an important sawmill. And if we close and open this, oh, it doesn't show up here. Never mind. That's tragic. I was kind of hoping that would happen. Oh well. Okay, so next we have our people here. Now these will show if you renamed them. Spiven is right here. So that's good. And it should also say that someone works at the important... Oh, we have a newcomer. Does it say that she's working at the important sawmill? I mean, you can click on view workplace. But that's interesting that it doesn't rename because it should rename for other job postings. Very interesting. Anyway, moving on. We have the resources. So this will become very useful later on. And you can mark resources as starred, so they will show up over here. There's a lot of resources in the game, and eventually you don't want to display every single one of them. So you can be a little bit selective with what displays. And then we have the trade routes. That's the thing that they want us to do here now. So we're going to need 20 planks to unlock this trade route, and then we can start selling the planks and also polish stones and a bunch of other stuff that we don't have access to right now. You could also buy berries, which I do not recommend doing, but we will probably have to buy tools because we cannot make those yet. All right, then there's edicts and privileges, which is a cool way to sort of customize certain, it's like abilities that you have as a ruler to impose certain effects on your city or village or settlement. And then last, this is your aspiration, which I do not think you can change. And of course, your title. You can change your name, you can change your title. You can also change your village's name, and you can also change your coat of arms. So if you're not happy with it, you can always customize it later. All right. I believe we're going to call it here. I'm just looking at the time, and this is definitely a good place to call it. And we are going to establish a trade route next time. Going to make a trade route. We're going to start making money, and our town is going to start growing into a proper thing. So let's put on some good vibes. Oh, so nice. So nice. No, housing insufficient. Shh, we're not gonna look at that. Shh. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to do all of the things that you do when you've enjoyed a video. Another very important thing is, if you'd like to check out Foundation, check out the link in the description. If you use that link, that would be really nice. I also have other videos. I have made 6 videos in the demo, which is this version of the game. It just had a bunch of things, unavailable. And I also have a bunch of playthroughs, I think 3 playthroughs in Foundation on the channel. And I also stream it over at twitch.tv/Lelling, where you can come say hi if you would like. It would be really nice to see you there. So come say hi and you can support me there and we can chat live. And I'll definitely be playing a lot of Foundation in the coming months for sure. I also have a little special event going on in February on Twitch, where we're going to be streaming a bunch of games that I don't usually stream. So check that out. It's going to be really interesting. It's too long to explain right now. Maybe I'll explain it next time if anyone cares. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, a comment, all of those beautiful things. And check out my other videos too. It's not just Foundation, it's a bunch of other stuff. Oh, I'm just repeating myself now. So I should just wish you a lovely rest of your life. And I will see you next time. Stay solidary. Goodbye. Stuck the landing. Bye, everyone.